On a small island called Madeira, a quiet, beautiful place where life was simple but full of struggle, a boy was born. In a small home with a big family, Cristiano Ronaldo learned very early that dreams cost effort, and greatness demands sacrifice. Cristiano wasn't born with riches. His family worked hard, and sometimes there wasn't enough. But what he lacked in money, he made up for with fire. A fire that burned inside him from the moment he touched a football. Every day after school, he played barefoot on the streets, using stones as goalposts, racing friends, and dreaming silently. One day the world will know my name. He wasn't just playing, he was preparing. Every kick, every sprint, every fall was a lesson. The rough streets of Madeira were his first training ground, shaping a resilience that would define his entire career. His father, a kit man at a local club, saw the passion in his son's eyes and encouraged him, never knowing the legend he was helping to create. The island was small, but his dreams were limitless. At just 12 years old, Ronaldo made the hardest decision of his life. He had to leave his home, his island, and his family to chase his dream in Lisbon. Imagine that. A boy, not yet a teenager, stepping onto a plane, leaving everything he ever knew behind for a chance. Just a chance at a better future. He was heading to a city he had never seen, a life he wasn't ready for, and a world that didn't care who he was. The lights of Lisbon were bright, but for a young boy so far from home, they only highlighted how alone he was. The academy at Sporting CP was a world away from the dusty streets of Madeira. It was professional, it was competitive, and it was unforgiving. The early days in Lisbon were brutal. Cried at night, the ache of homesickness, a constant weight in his chest. During the day, he was bullied for his thick island accent. Other boys mocked him for being too skinny, too frail. Coaches and teammates told him he wasn't strong enough, that he didn't have what it took to make it at the highest level. Doubt could have easily crept in. He could have given up, gone back to the comfort of his home, his family, and the familiar shores of Madeira. Many would have, but Ronaldo wasn't like many. He didn't get discouraged. He didn't lash out, channeled his pain into fuel. He transformed every taunt, every doubt, into motivation. This is where the legend truly begins. While other boys went home after practice, Cristiano stayed. He trained longer than everyone else. He ran faster than everyone else. He pushed his body to its absolute limit day after day. He would tie weights to his ankles and practice his dribbling, strengthening his legs so he could outpace his doubters. He spent hours in the gym, building the skinny frame they mocked into a machine of power and endurance. He didn't just want to be good, he wanted to be the best. He dreamed bigger than everyone else, a silent promise to himself that he would prove them all wrong. His work ethic became legendary even then, a quiet kid who let his actions on the pitch do all the talking. Then, just as he was starting to make a name for himself, came a shocking twist. A heart condition threatened to end everything. At just 15 years old, a routine medical checkup revealed a racing heart. The doctors delivered the devastating news: he might never play football again. The dream he had sacrificed everything for was on the verge of being snatched away. It was a terrifying moment, a crossroads that could have broken him. But even then, his spirit refused to be defeated. After careful consideration with his family and the club, he underwent a risky heart surgery. The procedure was a success, and just days later, he was back in training. He didn't just return. He returned stronger, hungrier, and more determined than ever. He was unstoppable. From this point on, Cristiano Ronaldo wasn't just a talented kid from a small island. The boy who was once too skinny, too homesick, too provincial, was gone. In his place stood a force of nature. The surgery wasn't just a medical procedure, it was a rebirth. It gave him a new perspective, an even greater appreciation for the gift he had. He knew how quickly it could all be taken away, and he played every single game as if it were his last. His skills, sharpened by relentless practice, were now breathtaking. His speed was electric. His power was astonishing. He was no longer just another player in the academy. He was a phenomenon, and the world was about to meet him. This was the dawn of an era, the rise of a player who would go on to redefine what was possible in the world of football. The rest, as they say, is history. But it's a history built not on luck, but on sweat, tears, and an unbreakable will. From the streets of Madeira to the stadiums of the world, Cristiano Ronaldo's journey is a powerful testament to the human spirit. It shows us that it doesn't matter where you come from, how much money you have, or what people say about you. What matters is the fire inside you, the willingness to work when no one is watching, and the courage to chase your dreams no matter how impossible they seem. His story is more than just about football. It's a lesson in resilience, dedication, and the power of self-belief. Do you remember August 6th, 2003? Sporting CP hosted Manchester United for a friendly match. On the pitch that day was a skinny, 18-year-old kid wearing number 28. His name was Cristiano Ronaldo. He didn't score. He didn't even get an assist. But for 90 minutes, he created absolute chaos. His dribbling was electric, his acceleration was breathtaking, and his confidence was something else entirely. He dismantled one of the best defenses in England, piece by piece. On the sidelines, the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson watched, completely mesmerized. He turned to his staff and said, "That boy, he's something else." The United players themselves were stunned. They couldn't stop talking about him on the plane home, urging their manager to sign him. They didn't have to ask twice. Ferguson knew he had just witnessed the future. A few days later, that same kid was in Manchester, holding up a red jersey with his name on the back. He was no longer number 28. Ferguson gave him the iconic number 7. A shirt worn by club legends like George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. It was a massive vote of confidence, but also immense pressure. When Cristiano arrived, he wasn't the CR7 the world fears today. He was a teenager, skinny and unrefined. He was flashy, sometimes prioritizing a fancy trick over a simple pass. He played like he had something to prove to everyone, and most importantly, to himself. And prove it he did. His work ethic became the stuff of legend at Manchester United's Carrington training ground. When the official training sessions ended, and his teammates headed for the showers, Cristiano's day was just getting started. He stayed out on the pitch long after the grounds were empty, practicing free kicks over and over until the sky turned dark and the staff had to beg him to go home. Lived in the gym, sculpting his body with relentless dedication. He knew that to reach the top, raw talent wasn't enough. His goal wasn't just to be a great player like the others. It was to become something the world had never, ever seen before. Slowly but surely, the transformation began. The flashy step-overs became more effective, backed by explosive power. The skinny teenager started to build the body of a super athlete. He was molding himself, bit by bit, into the ultimate footballing machine. He developed a sprinter's speed, leaving defenders in his dust. He cultivated a dancer's agility, twisting and turning in ways that seemed to defy physics. He built a boxer's physique, strong and resilient, able to withstand the brutal challenges of the Premier League. He honed a sniper's shooting power, capable of unleashing thunderbolts from any distance with either foot. And above all, he forged a warrior's mentality, an unbreakable will to win that terrified opponents. He went from a promising but frustrating winger to an unstoppable goal-scoring machine. The goals started flowing, each one more spectacular than the last. Towering headers, long-range screamers, and clinical finishes. He led Manchester United to 3 consecutive Premier League titles. He fired them to Champions League glory in a dramatic final in Moscow. The skinny kid from Madeira was gone. In his place stood a footballing colossus. And in 2008, the ultimate individual recognition arrived. Cristiano Ronaldo was awarded his first Ballon d'Or, officially crowning him the best player on the planet. Think about that journey for a moment. A boy from a poor family on a small Portuguese island, who once swept the streets to help his family, was now, indisputably, the king of world football. It was the culmination of a dream, the reward for years of sacrifice and unimaginable hard work. For most players, this would be the absolute pinnacle, the peak of their career. But Cristiano Ronaldo isn't most players. He wasn't satisfied. He wasn't even close. Winning the Ballon d'Or didn't quench his thirst. It only made him hungrier. He knew that to truly cement his legacy, he needed a new challenge, needed a bigger stage, a more intense spotlight, a dream so massive it seemed almost impossible. And so, he looked towards the most famous, most decorated, and most demanding club on earth, Real Madrid. In the summer of 2009, the world stood still. Real Madrid shattered the world transfer record to bring Cristiano to the Santiago Bernabeu. The presentation was unlike anything seen before. 80,000 fans packed the stadium just to catch a glimpse of their new Galactico. The pressure was immense. Real Madrid didn't just sign a star. They expected a phenomenon. They wanted a hero who could lead them back to the pinnacle of European football and break the dominance of their rivals, Barcelona. They didn't just want goals, they wanted history. And Cristiano Ronaldo became exactly that and so much more. He walked into the cauldron of expectation and made it his kingdom. The next chapter of his incredible story was about to begin. In the heart of Madrid, a storm was brewing. Clay, a force of nature, clad in the iconic white of Real Madrid. This wasn't just a player, it was a phenomenon. This was Cristiano Ronaldo, and he was about to redefine what was possible in the world of football. In Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just break records, he obliterated them. He scored goals at a rate the sport had never seen before. Defenders, seasoned professionals at the top of their game, would freeze in his presence. Goalkeepers, giants between the posts, would surrender before the ball even left his foot. And the stadiums. The stadiums would roar his name, a chorus of 80,000 souls chanting in unison, knowing they were witnessing history with every touch of the ball. Every time he stepped onto the pitch, there was an electric sense of anticipation. He just knew something incredible was about to happen. His journey in Madrid from 2010 to 2018 was a masterclass in athletic evolution. We're not just talking about getting better at football. We're talking about transforming the human body into the ultimate weapon. Look at the images from that era. You can see the change. He became a nightmare for anyone tasked with marking him. He developed a leap that rivaled professional basketball players, hanging in the air for what felt like an eternity before powering a header into the net. His sprints were explosive, his acceleration so fast he could have competed with track athletes over short distances. And his shots? They were thunderbolts, fired with a combination of power and precision that was simply unmatched in his generation. He wasn't just an athlete, he was evolution in motion. While the world was endlessly caught up in the great debate, Messi versus Ronaldo, Cristiano's focus was singular, almost monk-like. He was on a mission to become the most complete forward in the history of the beautiful game. He wanted it all: speed, power, heading ability, both feet, free kicks, penalties. He left no stone unturned in his quest for perfection. This wasn't about being better than one other player. It was about being better than every version of himself, day after day. The secret to this relentless pursuit wasn't just talent. It was his mentality. It was unbreakable, forged in the fires of immense pressure and expectation. He had a work ethic that became legendary. Trained while others rested. Put in extra hours on the pitch when his teammates were heading home. Pushed his body to its absolute limits, and then he pushed some more. Relaxation not as a reward, but as a missed opportunity to improve. This obsession with self-improvement wasn't a phase. It was his way of life. It was the engine that drove him from being a great player to an all-time legend. Then came the summer of 2016, the UEFA European Championship. This was more than just a tournament for Ronaldo. It was a chance to deliver a legacy for his nation. He had won everything at the club level, but international glory with Portugal had always eluded him. This time it was different. He wasn't just the star player. He was the leader, the captain, the heartbeat of the team. He dragged them through the tournament with sheer force of will, scoring crucial goals and inspiring his teammates to believe. And then, in the final, disaster struck. An early injury forced him off the pitch. For any other player, this would have been the end. But not for him. What followed was perhaps his greatest moment of leadership. He didn't retreat to the dressing room in despair. He stayed on the touchline, his leg heavily strapped, pacing back and forth like a caged lion. He became the second coach. He was a general commanding his army from the sidelines, shouting instructions, encouraging his brothers in arms, living every single kick of the ball. When Eder's incredible long-range strike hit the back of the net, Ronaldo's celebration was a release of a lifetime of dedication. He had led Portugal against all odds to their first ever major international trophy. It was a testament to his character, proving that his influence went far beyond scoring goals. Today, when we talk about Cristiano Ronaldo, the numbers speak for themselves, but they don't tell the whole story. He stands as the highest goal scorer in the entire history of football. Think about that for a second. More goals than Pelé, more than Puskas, more than anyone who has ever played the game professionally. He is, even in his late 30s, one of the fittest athletes on the planet, a marvel of physical conditioning and longevity, but his impact transcends the pitch. He is a global icon, a name recognized in every corner of the world, respected by fans, peers, and even his staunchest rivals. More than that, he has become a symbol of discipline, of what can be achieved when you dedicate your entire being to a single goal, symbol of resilience, of bouncing back from setbacks stronger than before, and a symbol of obsession, the healthy driving obsession, to be the very best you can be. That's why looking at the real photographs from his career is so powerful. These aren't just pictures, they're artifacts of history. Each image captures a moment, a piece of the story. From the explosive sprints in Manchester, to the gravity-defying headers in Madrid, to the triumphant roar in Paris with his country. These images hold the truth of his journey. While modern technology can create stunning visuals, the raw, unfiltered reality of these photographs preserves the essence of his struggle and his glory. Every picture of Cristiano Ronaldo carries a piece of football history. In the end, Cristiano Ronaldo didn't just chase greatness, he hunted it down. He wrestled with it. He sacrificed for it. He suffered for it. And through that relentless, obsessive pursuit, he became greatness itself. For nearly 2 decades, defenders had a reason to fear, because when he was on the pitch, he wasn't just a player, he was a storm, and you can't stop a storm. You can only watch in awe as it reshapes the landscape forever.
Thank you so much for watching.
If you were inspired by this story of dedication and greatness, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the lives of legendary icons. Let us know in the comments what your favorite Cristiano Ronaldo moment is. We'll see you in the next one.